we're going to look at the Steelers to begin with, probably to get it out of the way of all the people it hurts it is, because I'm probably going to go on a little bit about my team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So big offseason, probably the biggest offseason I've ever seen in Steelers history as far as I'm concerned, in terms of me watching the NFL. Bringing in the great Aaron Rodgers, former Green Bay Packer quarterback for Adam there, who I'm sure has a lot of opinions on him. We also brought in Malik Harrison, linebacker from the Baltimore Ravens, Darius Slay, quarterback formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, bringing back into the building Mason Rudolph, Juan Thornhill from our divisional rivals, the Cleveland Browns, Robert Woods, wide receiver formerly of the Houston Texans and the LA Rams. A few notable absentees for you guys that have gone. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, both quarterbacks, obviously gone to the New York area, both of them, the Giants and the Jets. Dan Moore signing a huge, ridiculous contract in my book with the Tennessee Titans. Larry Ogunjobi's got out there. James Daniels, Najee Harris, as I stated a moment ago, with my unfortunate jersey just there. And of course, this is the first Division 1 we've done where we're actually talking about big trades as well. Huge trade. There was a huge trade of Minkah Fitzpatrick being traded back to the Miami Dolphins from where he was drafted originally. That was for picks as well as for Jalen Ramsey, cornerback, and Jonnu Smith, tight end, as well with picks coming back the other way. Also with George Pickens, wide receiver, who's been traded to the Dallas Cowboys, got picks back for that. And also a trade that was picks for DK Metcalf, wide receiver from the Seattle Seahawks. Also a draft as well. Derek Harmon in the first round, defensive tackle. Caleb Johnson, running back out of Iowa in the third. Jack Sawyer from Ohio State in the fourth. Obviously, another Ohio State player going in the sixth round with Will Howard. I feel like I've probably gone on too long about my Pittsburgh Steelers.
Just a bit. Jesus Christ.
You excited, Fred?
I don't get to talk about my team very often. And it's nice to talk about them. Like I said, I mean, out of all the teams we've spoken so far on our deep dive episodes, this team has probably had the most things going on with it, Adam. Like it has had the most intrigue.
Yeah, it's definitely had a lot going on. I don't know if it's all a positive, but it's certainly had a lot going on. I actually feel like you got rid of a lot of decent players. Maybe it was just because they didn't want to pay up for them, but James Daniels, I thought really good right guard, one that you've missed, let go. Larry Ogunjobi's been decent for you. Dan Moore's been a solid left tackle, not amazing, but he's been decent. And they all went, and I don't necessarily think that they've really replaced with better. I think that's what's kind of a little bit confusing with this whole one. It feels like it's just they've just decided to go in a slightly different route, but I don't know if it's going to be a positive thing for them. Number one team spend on defense before Jalen Ramsey was signed, and then TJ Watt was extended, and it's like there's so much money gone into this defense now, and in theory it should be very, very good. It has been for many years, and it should continue to be very good. The offense, obviously, with Aaron Rodgers there now. DK Metcalf, I don't see it. It doesn't match up particularly well in my mind. I think that the way that Rodgers likes to always throw the sort of like the passes, back passes just behind that Devontae Adams always used to pick up, that's not, DK Metcalf isn't that guy. He's more of a speedster and sort of like winning through that rather than winning through going up and getting it. So I'm not quite sure about that. The idea of giving up George Pickens in a trade, given his age, and I think although he's not amazing, I think a lot of people think he's got something about him and he could be decent. Again, I'm not quite sure. So yeah, just a little bit of a weird one. I think a lot of movement, but I'm not 100% sure it's all good.
Oh, not 100%. It's all good. Okay. Wow. Mate, this is exactly what the Pittsburgh Steelers have needed. Exactly what we've needed. We've got a Hall of Fame quarterback. One of the best running backs to come out of the draft. A top 3 corner. A former top 5 corner. Probably a top 10 corner.
Who? Ramsey? Knackered, isn't he?
Darius
Slay. Oh, yeah, fair enough. I'll allow that.
I was maybe pandering to the Eagles fans amongst people out there. I get where you're coming from with a lot of this. I totally understand with a lot of this, and I agree with a lot of your points. There's been some strange moves, some good players gone. I think we've brought some good players in, though. I think the moves have made sense. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a move that I think was a head scratcher for a lot of people. I've always said this about Minkah. Minkah is good and then is great in the season. He starts slow. It's usually like week 4 or week 5. He's suddenly like that. It all clicks into the place for him. He suddenly has a game of like 2 interceptions, a few batted passes. He's all over the place. And then from there, he kicks on and he has a phenomenal season. Not last year, the year before, 2023. It clicked in a lot later, more like week 10. And then last season, it was every week I was like, this is the Minkah week. This is where he's going to kick on. So it's going to kick on. So what's going to happen? And it didn't. It just didn't. And I think he looked old last year. He looked older. Now, I'm not saying Jalen Ramsey is no spring chicken. He's not a spring chicken at all. But given his play, given the consistency of his play that he's had in the last few seasons, he's been sublime. He's been still very, very at a top level. And then on the wide receiver side, the other side, the offensive side, okay, I understand maybe not getting the DK Metcalf thing, but that guy's wingspan, that radius, it might not be the behind the head catches that Devontae Adams was linked up so well with him for, but he puts it in the vicinity of DK Metcalf and he's grabbing that ball. He's grabbing that rock. And George Pickens, a younger wide receiver, I just don't think he did it for us. He just didn't do it for us. He didn't perform at a consistent level. He had games where he went completely missing. He was a bit of a troublemaker within the locker room. And I think you don't get that with DK. I think with DK, you get a lot more experience, a lot more maturity. A guy that wants to go and win. He's been close sometimes with the Seattle Seahawks of getting a good playoff run. I think he's gone into a team now where he looks around and thinks, wow, that defense is nothing like what I had over in Seattle ever. And I know we've spent a lot of money. We're the top spending team franchise within the NFL on defense. You know, TJ Watt contract as well, which we haven't brought up, his extension. So I get that now the NFL world it is offense. It is offense, and it's so much onus on that. But our defense wins us games. It wins us easily 5-6 games a season. And if we can just get this offense going, just get a bit of excitement going with this offense, a little bit of something. This is a playoff team, and maybe even a couple of playoff wins. I'm not sure we're an AFC Championship team. I don't think we're an AFC Championship team, but we can win a few playoff games.
Just quickly, Sky. Quickly, the one thing I would say is that if you're trading for DK Metcalf, if you're trading for Jalen Ramsey, if you're bringing in Aaron Rodgers, if you're bringing in Darius Slay, if you're not, that's all. Is that not all a win now move?
Oh, so no, this is all for us to win the Super Bowl. Like in my brain, this is all for us to win the Super Bowl, but I just don't think we will.
Yeah, so that's not gone well then.
No, it's not. No. It's gone a damn sight better than the last few years, though.
Yeah. No. Yes, it would be an improvement. I mean, so I've done previews for it, and the preview that I have for the Steelers is very much. I think they'll be in the playoffs. I think they win a playoff game, which is more than what they've done recently. But considering the moves that they've made, it's not doing what the moves are meant to be doing, kind of thing, which is basically getting them to win a Super Bowl. It's just not going to happen, I don't think.
And of course, there is a little bit of an unwritten thing that me and Sky have where I actually know that he absolutely despises the Pittsburgh Steelers. But actually never really dampens my spirits on it. He never really gets argumentative with me. He never tells me that outright to my face a lot of the time. But I know you hate them.
I just
Why,
Don't-
Sky?
don't-
Tell us why.
Don't hide behind the wall of your
The
insecurities.
only reason I don't ever go in on the Steelers is because Brady beat them for 2 decades. The Steelers never really had any notable wins over the Patriots. So why am I going to waste my energy? That's why I just focus it all on the Giants. But I don't mean that in even like the amount of Brady basically might as well have a statue outside Heinz Field as well as Gillette on Friday. So we'll put one there. I think let me try and start positive. I think for the defense, like you said, Fred, they win this team games. And I think it could be a top 10 unit across the league. And that, even if could even get closer to fight, there's playmakers there. But I just think signing Aaron Rodgers, the Jets offense last season ranked 24th in yards and points. And you're telling me that this is the guy that's going to get you a playoff win. I think it's just a signing where you're like, oh, let's just appease a fan base because we've had awful quarterback play for, last few years. And then if anything, it might work out better if you do have a bad year. And then you end up with a decent draft position next year. And also, I know I contradicted myself when we talk about the strength of schedule. It happens a lot. But the Steelers do have a tough one. I think it's ranked 10th. There's games against the Bills, the Ravens, obviously twice because of division, the Lions. Final 6 weeks of the season looks, pretty tough. I know Tomlin's never finished under 500, but there are offensive questions. And I would say, though, I think Metcalf is a good move. I know Adam said at the beginning. I like that because now we'll either find out if Rodgers is washed up or if he's just going to carry on playing the blame game because DK Metcalf is not a guy you can blame. He's an elite receiver. It's not like last season where he's staring at guys, being like, you've let me down here, like that Mike Williams play. There's tools there, but I don't see it because I think Aaron Rodgers is done.
Do you not think that he doesn't need to do much, though, in order to win a game because of the defense?
I think also this running back as well is pretty great.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
You just need to manage the game script and hope that you can play games on your terms, right? But then I think when you've got teams like the Bengals in your division who can put up points for fun, you're not going to have every game your way. Although their defense ain't great either, but we'll come on to that.
Just remember that the NFL has put out a statement recently banning all podcasts and media outlets from saying scripts just in case people find out that it is scripted. So be careful with that. Just be careful with that word a little bit. I either want us to win 10 plus games and go on a crazy playoff run or win no games. I don't want, and what's worse is I have actually got us in this situation. I don't want bloody 9-8, 8-9. Oh, stop. We are so happy with mediocrity. So happy with it. Just be crap or good. Don't be all right. No one wants all right. I either want a shiny new quarterback or I want a ring. I don't, you know what I mean? I want one or the other. What I don't want is mediocrity. Is just sitting in the middle yet again.